True your freedom. All right, everybody, it is Wednesday, hump day, and it is the Prepared Mind channel. Every day I come here, and every day I might sound like I'm a little bit frustrated with the system. I want to remind everybody, I've just been having a conversation with someone I respect an awful lot. There's a lot of you guys out there, a lot of gals out there I respect a lot. And this friend, I consider him a brother, literally. You guys, there's so many of you want to meet you in person. It's this instant deep attachment because you know. Anyways, he sent me a quote from Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I can never say that name right. It's very Russian. I want to read it to you, and then I want to share you a little story. Man's supposed to be in the studio here in just a few minutes. He's not here yet, but get your questions down below. So let me read this quote. And this will serve as a warning to everybody, not just the bad guys, not just the neutral cowards and sheeple, but also to us, me, you. It's a warning. It is fair warning. Here is the quote. I'm going to need some glasses on this. I was just laughing the other day that I started this channel when I was 43, hitting 44. I looked a lot younger then. My vision was a lot better as well. The most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone. They try so very hard to mind their own business and provide for themselves and those they love. They resist every impulse to fight back, knowing the forced and permanent change of life that will come from it. They know that the moment they fight back, their lives as they have lived them are over. The moment the men who wanted to be left alone are forced to fight back, it is a form of suicide. They are literally killing off who they used to be, which is why when forced to take up violence, these men who wanted to be left alone fight with unholy vengeance against those who murdered their former lives. They fight with raw hate and a drive that cannot be fathomed by those who are merely play acting at politics and terror. True terror will arrive at these people's door, and they will cry, scream, and beg for mercy, but it will fall upon the deaf ears of the men who just wanted to be left alone. I tried describing about how the other day I met a Christian Marine, and I looked into his eyes, and you could see the real soul in there. This guy had empathy. He had love. He had care for me, for people he's never met. When we talked about our sons. But he described to me, and I did what I'm going to call a piss poor job of describing his description. And I thought about it some more. But basically, he told me that he only knows how to be a violent force. And Alexander just called it true terror. He said he only knows how to be a violent force because he knows peace and love first and foremost. Strip that away. Tear it away from somebody. Burn that peace, that love. You create an incredibly violent response. And that's what's happening to us, to the world right now. That is why my divorce was so destructive. Because there was an attempt to tear away that which I loved and cared for most. And that created some of the most intense hatred you can imagine. I killed no one. I injured nobody. But when this shit we're dealing with cuts loose, folks, I wouldn't want to be on the side that has to face people, good, honest, loving, caring, sympathetic, empathetic Americans, because we've had that peace and that love of country ripped out of our hearts, that thought of innocence of children growing up to be good little Americans who would live their lives, the good, the bad, the hard, the difficult, the triumphs, the losses, but it's their lives to live, and it's been stolen from them. And when then it comes around, the people like me who wanted to be left alone, who just wanted America to be America, they've stolen it from us. There's going to be hell to pay. I wouldn't want to be on their side. The people in power, our elected senators and congressmen and congresswomen, the president, his cabinet, the governors, they have refused to fucking listen to the vote. The vote is nonviolent. It's a nonviolent way of saying this is ours. It's our country. It's our freedom. It's our rights. And you motherfuckers everywhere, from the local to the state to the federal level, have ignored it. They chose not to listen to our votes. They chose not to respect our republic, which protects and guarantees our rights. They failed, my friends. They failed. They absolutely failed. All right. If you're going to do a question today, what I'm going to ask you to do is put it in all caps. Now, don't let my broadcast, folks, don't let me and my expressions, don't let me stop you from taking action with phone calls, emails, letters, comments, communications of all manner with your elected reps at all the different various levels. Don't let watching me go, okay, John is going to take care of it. People like John are going to take care of it. No, no, and no. Every last one of us need to share this video and all like it. I'm not the only one out here talking. Little TikTok, YouTube shorts, others on YouTube saying, get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Get yourself prepared. Understand who the enemy is. And I've been explaining it a lot lately and really getting into the fucking weeds. But don't stop with me. Get it out to other people. Don't stop with you. Share with everybody. Keep pushing and fighting. Our job is to make these bastards obey. It's our job. I know the Constitution doesn't say take your guns, and I'm not going to tell you to do this either, and go to the state capitol or the federal capitol and force them to obey the law. But that's what is implied in the Declaration of Independence, in the Constitution, in the Second Amendment. First Amendment comes first, and then you follow with the second. If they won't listen to our voice, if they won't obey our votes, if they will not listen and obey and respect the law and the oath they took to it called the Constitution, they are running out of options that we can use against them. I'm not calling for violence, unlawful behavior. The police have not contacted me. There's no reason to. I'm a peace-loving man. I just happen to know my rights. I happen to know the law. I happen to know history. I happen to see current events. I happen to know religion, just like you guys. At various and different levels, we've all studied, obeyed, observed, learned, shared, and now we're looking around going, well, that worked just like shit, right? We've done it all we can, and these people still are not listening. They're not listening. Republicans are a joke. You know, up until just a few years ago, I believed that the Republican Party had an opportunity. It was a real opportunity. I believe correctly, it was an opportunity they could have exploited, and they could have led America out of this shit cesspool if they obeyed the law, obeyed their oaths, and served the people. But instead, they have broken the law. They have ignored the law, and they have screwed us over. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. I'm going to give you an example. In Charlotte, I imagine North Carolina, a Republican county commissioner has had his own private home, right? Targeted. Somewhere between, the media says, 7 to 10 shots were fired into the home, drive-by shooting at a Republican county commissioner. That's not the federal government. That's not the state government. That's down at the little people level, our level. And the wife and his children were home. They were inside the house. But Republicans didn't want to fucking listen to us, did they? They wanted to ignore the law, ignore the Constitution, ignore their oaths, and ignore us. Republicans are allowing radical communists, radical Muslims, religious wackos from the Middle East. They're allowing LGBT pedophiles to run free. And Trump and all the Democrats and all the Republicans and all the policemen and everyone everywhere, well, they can't stop them at the street level, can they? They can't stop it down where we live, can they? This is happening. This is happening. As far as I'm concerned, all levels of government. Fuck them. Democrats, Republicans, the FBI, the Attorney General, the CIA, the whole Department of Justice. They're turning all of these bad people loose on us. They could have fixed it all. Instead, they're pissing everyone off, including the so-called radical right, who is not cutting their genitals off, screwing other people in the ass, raping children in schools, and causing violence on the streets because we're law-abiding. We go to our work. We pay our fucking taxes. We obey the law. And they're pissing us off. You see, it is the Muslims. It is the BLMers. It is Antifa. It is foreign religious elements. It is all of them that are committing the acts of violence that we're seeing down on our low level. But it is the people in charge who are allowing it to happen for the benefit of themselves. Let's look at the local level. Police doing jack shit. The city gets run over. Portland, Seattle, LA, Chicago, pick a fucking city. The police allow it and everyone else suffers. They're turning them loose on us. Except at this low level, guess what? They're exposing themselves and their own families. The sheriff's deputies, the sheriff themselves, if they're not stopping it, they're allowing it to happen. County commissioners, how do you like your houses being shot up, you fucks? State assemblymen and senators. Whoops-a-daisy. You people are known. You people, your addresses, your names, your homes. It's all on the internet. And you're all going to be remembered for who you are and what you support and what you fucking allowed. Same with federal officers, business owners at the corporate level, the CFOs, the COOs, the CEOs, the CUNTs, all of them. They've created this, and they think they're not going to have those chickens come home to roost. Well, they are. They are, and it is going to be a shit show. A shit show. Now, I want to tell you again, we could fix this right now. Trump could fix it. The Department of Justice could fix it. The Attorney General could fix it. The fucking Supreme Court could fix this. Guess what? Another judge. That's right. An Obama-appointed judge has ruled that Immigrations and Customs Enforcement cannot redetain the criminal alien Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This criminal is here, Kilmar. And he has continued to violate the law. He's still a criminal. So he can't be rearrested for continuing to violate the fucking law? Oh, judge says no. This guy has killed, in order to be a member of MS-13, at least one member of his own family. He has, while in America, assaulted the stupid woman who's decided to sleep with him and have a child with him. He's been caught trafficking illegals. He's a drug dealer, and he's a violent fucking felon. But hey, he deserves a new life. He's one of the dreamers, right? Right? Fuck the judges. They need to be arrested for treason, and they are not going to be protected from these psychopaths out here, nor will they be protected from those who have had their love, their peace stripped from them, taking away our humanity in the process, leaving some of the most dangerous, well-trained, well-equipped, intelligent patriots. The Maryland father. Yeah, Mikey. The Maryland father. That fucking clown. When they strip it from us, the last of our peace, the last of our love, hurt us in some way. You know, you see this, you hear about these stories where the father kills the fucking pedophile, or the mother kills the rapist of her daughter. They do it calmly, do they not? They just pull out a fucking gun and whack them. When the sheriff went into the judge's chambers, showed him what he had done, trial is now over. Sheriff pulls sidearm, fucking shoots the judge, kills him. He's not going on a shooting spree, killing innocent people. It is targeted, intelligent, planned execution of the most violent actions a being can commit. Not this ridiculous, let's go stomp someone on the street, some innocent person, go pick on old people. It's dangerous, my friends, to see what's happening and to know it. All right. We got everyone in here. We got Nancy Keg. We got Mikey G. We got Yankee Watchdog. Of course, we have Chin and the whole gang is here. It's going to get nastier. And we've discovered who the problem is. We've discovered who the problem is. I want to remind everyone that people are still dying from the Jim Jones juice. People aren't dying from COVID, folks. People aren't sick from COVID. People aren't injured from COVID. People are dying from the fucking vaccine. People are sick from the vaccine. People are susceptible because of the vaccine. People have lost their immune systems because of the vaccine. People have had strokes, heart attacks. They're getting cancer from the vaccine. They're passing out. They're dying. They're being left invalids in fucking wheelchairs because of the vaccine. It's still going on. Darcy T let me know that a 25-year-old fitness influencer and British Army medic dies suddenly. Yep, another super athlete, because that's how we think of the people who are in the best physical condition. I read an article today, fucking ambulance driver, paramedic. I don't know if this is true or not. This guy posted, my partner told me today it's his last day. He's going to die. He's got stage 4 cancer. It can't be beaten. All right. He can't beat it. He's going to die. And he says, yes, I know. It was the vaccine. The guy knows it was the fucking vaccine that killed him. or is going to kill him. This article popped up today, guys. Go ahead and put your thoughts down below in all caps, please. Put your thoughts, your observations, your comments, your predictions. Don't say anything too crazy, but I can kind of read between the lines when we have to. Because I want to know what you guys are fucking thinking. Now, the government could at any time stop this problem. And I could go back, not to sleep, but I could relax a little, right? I was at the RMZ, the real man zone, the jungle, back in 2020. I left California, my kids off to college, my kids off to trade school. Guess who's making the most money, by the way? Trade school son. 4-year bachelor's college degree. He's doing good. He's working, at least working within the fucking trade he studied for, the profession. But I went to the RMZ. Live the jungle life. Forget all of this shit. Just to keep track of it, but, just live a better life. Couldn't do it. Only made it a few months. Got sucked back in because this is my country. And I was afraid that they were going to tear away from me that which I loved, that gave and put peace in my heart. The government could fix it still. I could calm back down. But if and only if these fucking people would do their jobs. So the Comeys, both James and now his fucking daughter. That's right, James Comey, former director of the FBI, has a pile of shit, piece of shit, absolute sack of shit lawyer daughter in the Department of Justice, in the Attorney General's office. They're both crooked as fuck. And Florida Republican congressional representative Anna Paulina Luna says, quote, with reference to the Comeys, "It will all come out soon." What is she talking about? Do you guys know? You guys know this one? Yeah, the Comeys have committed treason, according to, the experts and those who have the so-called evidence. Committed treason, fraud, election interference, and basically a coup de fucking tar. And now, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, she has been strong, she's been brave, she's been loud. But hey, Anna, no promises, no press releases, no statements. The only fucking thing I want to see from here on out is arrests, and to see heads roll in a very literal sense. How about you guys? Are you satisfied with words and promises? Hey, we got all kinds of fucking promises in the election. And that was only, get this. It's the beginning of 2026. We got those promises at the end of 2024. Got 1 year in between those promises and where we're at. We were told Epstein files released, which also means and implies Epstein files, Epstein names, Epstein arrests, Epstein prosecutions, Epstein sentences, Epstein executions. He's had 1 year and all he's done is show us that he's not going to do his fucking job. He's going to get all these illegals out so fast it'll make your fucking head spin. Just words. Nothing. We've gotten jack shit. Strongly worded letters. Oh, Mikey G has got the quick little quips. Thank you, Mr. Mikey G. And all you guys, I do appreciate you on here much more than you know. If I didn't have you, and of course, those who I know on a personal level, I would feel this country's fucking lost. If you go on X, that would be Elon Musk's social media app, right? Formerly Twitter. You go on there, you can find all the Epstein shit, all the election promises, all of the evidence, all of the opinions, and there are people losing their shit that the government's doing nothing. But if you go on Facebook, you'll see a little bit maybe. a little bit. Go on mainstream, no, right-wing media. You'll see a very select few things. Very select. If you go to the left-wing media, mainstream media, forget it. The biggest news is some old lady was kidnapped and her daughter is upset. Yeah, I'd be upset too, but that is not national news. I don't give a shit. It's not. And Trump today said 90% chance in the next few weeks he's going to bomb the shit out of Iran. Folks, this is an extension of the very sublime, very secretive, very nasty, underhanded, evil policy that has been going on for decades. And I'm going to just come right out and say it's Israeli policy in action. Years of inciting hatred in the world for everybody that Israel disagrees with. And Israel has been inciting hatred in Europe and in America, especially between races, ages, genders, wealth, years, decades. And it's been done to weaken America. But now, the damage that's done can be revealed in the next war they're going to try getting us back to. Thank you, Chin. The next war. We've been fighting wars for decades. For America? I don't think so. But we're going to have, some people call it civil war. I've called it partisan conflict because it's a little easier to say it without getting, kicked off the internet. But they've been inciting a hatred. And just the other day, Netanyahu, that's right, king of the Israelis, came out and said directly, he said it directly, thank you, Chin, that he needs Jews, blacks, gays to rise up and attack in America. Fight back. As if they haven't been. As if Israel hasn't already been inciting hatred between the races to weaken America. All this is coming to fruition. And what am I saying? What is the fruition? There are now unprovoked attacks based on race here in America. And I have one more example for you. I don't like to come to you guys without evidence, proof, examples, quotes. A man in Florida walked up to a 13-year-old boy. He's barely a fucking teen. Probably doesn't have any hair on his beanbag yet. 13-year-old, a grown man, slashed his throat in Daytona, Florida, completely unprovoked. We've seen people pushed onto train tracks. The little blonde girl got stabbed in the neck. We're hearing about people being raped, murdered, and then raped some more. Why? Because of their skin color? These people, and they attack the weakest, teenage boys, children. How many people have we seen now that have stabbed, burned, punched, kicked children in strollers? You guys can tell I'm a little passionate about this, right? It is not anti-Semitism for me to talk about Israeli policies that they have openly described. Dozens of interviews of Israelis on TV, on documentaries describing the tricks they use and their hatred for America, for Christians, for Sweden, for Germany, for England. They hate them all. And they admit it. They talk about how they use the Holocaust and how they use Nazis all as an excuse to get people to fight each other. They're mad at everybody, right? They hate all of fucking Europe because those people who are now calling themselves Israelis are European Jews who have for over 1,000 years been kicked out of over 1,000, over 1,000 times been kicked out of over 100 countries. Now, back to what happened. This boy who had his throat slashed, thankfully, is alive. Apparently, at the last moment, he turned away, not knowing he was being attacked, and the knife didn't cut through his jugular, right? Hundreds of these Israelis have been filmed intentionally revealing their hatred for America, Christians, Christian nations, and have revealed their desire to use all their sleaziest tricks to get us to sympathize over them while they pit all of these minority groups against us and against each other, old against young, rich against poor, black against white, Hispanic against white, Hispanic against black. It doesn't fucking matter. And now, folks, I think finally we're all able to see the fruits of that tree fully grown, right? You know a tree by its fruits. In other words, a fully grown tree shows us what it was designed to produce, what was designed for harvest. And we're seeing hatred and violence and murder everywhere. Because these people are admitting it. And you look at what's been done to our countries, all of Europe, how politicians have been bought off, all of it. Do you like this game? I do not. Do you understand yet? You know, I can reveal a lot, but I know the rest of the world has to get the answers for themselves, just like you have gotten the answers for yourselves. You've looked around. Compare. Am I a fucking lunatic? Am I a nut? No. Am I some hillbilly fucking retard that climbed out from under a bridge? No. None of us are. It doesn't matter whether you're a hillbilly or a swamp billy from the desert or the fucking city. It doesn't matter. If you have intelligently studied, you see what's going on and you see it. And as this tree produces its death and destruction, we see the people who are in charge. We see the people who are in charge. And we see their policies. And we hear what they're saying. So how can we not? How can you not? Right? Now, see, I think they're incredibly arrogant. Ridiculously arrogant and stupid. They don't even see what they're doing. They don't understand our frustration and anger and soon to be hatred. None other than Laura Trump. I guess this is Eric Trump's wife, right? She says, quote, many more many more family members from the Trump family may run for office. She said, quote, it may not end just with Donald Trump. The fuck it won't. In my opinion, the Trump dynasty will end in politics. The Trump dynasty will die. The Trump dynasty is already dying. And Trump using Ivanka's husband, Jared Kushner, an Israeli bitch, as a so-called ambassador in Israel, in the peace talks in Ukraine. Who the fuck is this guy? Is he a professional anything? What the fuck? Who the fuck is he? I know he's an Israeli and I know he's Jewish. And I know Ivanka Trump married him. He's a so-called ambassador. Well, it's a massive revelation and a mistake because we all see it now. This guy showed up and pitched rebuilding Gaza as a resort city for Israel. Do you think we want more of this shit? I don't fucking think so. All politicians need to go down, folks, especially these foreign-backed sleazes who are in our capital enriching themselves while at the same time children are being raped, murdered, their blood drained before becoming a fucking snack for these Israeli and Israeli-loving cannibals. We see who they are, do we not? Do you know who they are yet? We've got Epstein files. We're just now starting to hear names. We've just started. And we have even more evidence, but no arrests. No arrests are coming. No arrests are promised. In fact, we've been promised no arrests are coming. Questions, thoughts, comments in down below. We've got low turnout today. Surprise, YouTube. Surprise, social media. It's up to you guys, folks, to spread the word. Share the internet address. We have even more evidence. Now we have Epstein and Black. Leon Black, that is. The Department of Justice files. In other words, the Epstein files show the depths. It's not just a relationship. These aren't business relationships. No. It's not just, well, like Bill Gates says, I was just doing some talking about philanthropy. The only thing we ever hear Bill Gates talking about is pandemics, drugs to try and fight the pandemics, other vaccines, taking meat away from us, covering up the sun, and taking control of the earth through artificial intelligence. Fuck Bill Gates. But he only had a philanthropic relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, who wasn't a philanthropist. He was a fucking pedophile. The Clintons, we just had a business relationship. Your business was killing and eating children. That's Epstein's business. The Department of Justice show the depths of the relationship between Epstein and the Wall Street billionaire Leon Black. This file that's been released shows them both allegedly threatening his Russian girlfriend. That's right. Got to keep these bitches in line. Got to keep these hoes in their places. There's no end to this shit. I'm sure she fucking learned. In fact, someone asked me, John, how is it that we have survivors? How do we have survivors of Epstein Island if they raped everyone, killed everyone, and ate everyone? Well, they didn't rape and kill and eat everyone. I am certain they raped everyone and anyone they can get their dicks on. And don't forget, do not forget, Ellen DeGeneres is on the list and appears to be the biggest cannibal. And Jizzy Maxwell has been described as being much more cruel and evil than Epstein is even. And if you've read what Epstein has said about hunting blacks, yeah, we hunt niggas. That right? These fucking people are sick. But it's just a business relationship. No. I'm sure they threatened the girlfriend. I'm sure they raped the girlfriend. All of the people on Epstein Island. Anyone that they can get their hands on. If you're not protected, you're done. Now, how do the girls live? Let's just explore this a little bit. We've been told how they live and are allowed to live. Apparently, if you don't please them enough, they'll just fucking torture you and cut your throat and drink your blood, put your body on a fucking barbecue pit and eat you. This is truly what is recorded as happening before 2019. You think it hadn't happened and continued to happen after Epstein was put in jail? With all the other islands around the world, all the other ranches, all the other dungeons? Watch the movie Taken, just to get a little piece. 2019, Epstein's in jail. He's dead. 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 7 years plus that these people have continued to walk the earth, terrorize children, and continue to do what they do. Oh yeah, when our good buddy Joe Biden was in office, how many hundreds of thousands of foreign children, illegal children that were smuggled into the country, just disappeared? Yeah, I'm sure they disappeared. Let's just say you were a good little slave, like Virginia Giuffre, right? Who's dead now. Even though she said she was healthy, she wasn't depressed, she wasn't taking drugs, she wasn't suicidal. And she committed suicide. Yeah, right. But girls like her, guess what they were forced to do? Apart from, well, massage and allowing themselves to be raped. If you wanted to live, you had to play their game. You had to take care of the kids. I'm very sure all the other little children down in the dungeons, I'm sure they had to feed them. I'm sure they tried comforting them, helping dress them and everything else. I'm sure of that. And then we've learned that Epstein's girls, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, I'm sure they were forced to participate in the rapes and the cannibalism and the ritual murders so that they now believed they were accomplices, co-conspirators. So if they snitched on Epstein, they would be arrested too? Well, I tell you what, folks, I have sympathy for those that were victimized, but if they turn around and victimized others, it's hard to have sympathy. That said, I feel very bad for these people that were forced into these situations and told if you don't kill, you'll be killed, whatever. But then these older girls, they came back to Florida, Texas, New York, California, Illinois. And guess what they did? They searched for, they recruited girls, more girls, to take into these pedophile groups. Have no doubts. Have no doubts. That's how they get more kids. They turn them into recruiters. How a fucking about that, huh? It has not ended. It is not ended. And it's just absolutely awful. When you learn what is taught in the Quran, you can't deny it anymore. Marrying 9-year-old girls, raping anyone who isn't a Muslim is totally allowed. Lying to people to trick them, to invade their country, to take their country over, to kill them, to take their wives and daughters as slaves, to take their money. It's all right there in the Quran. But of course, lie to the dumb, stupid infidels. Trick them. Soothe them and calm them to sleep until you can take control. Read the Talmud. You can rape children. Non-Jews are cattle. They can be murdered. They can be stolen from. They can be tricked. Lie to them. If you don't want to get caught, go to another town where no one knows you to commit your crimes against them. Fraud. All of these things are allowed. If they can trick you out of your money, then the person who had the money that got tricked doesn't deserve it. It's in the Talmud. It's in the fucking Quran. It's in India even. It's like, can't these fucking people be decent and honest? No, they can't. They think that if they fool you and they don't get caught and thrown in jail for it, that's fine. And even if they get caught, they can just run back to Israel and hide. Or if you're a Muslim, you stand in front of a judge. The judge says, you're free to go. We've now had, in this country, we now have Asian hatred of America and law and order. A judge who's an Asian had a woman in his court. This woman was doing 70 miles an hour in an area that had it was either a 15 or a 25 mile an hour speed limit. Sounds like a neighborhood, doesn't it? She fucking plowed into a family of 4. That would be husband, wife, and children, and killed them all. And the cop arrested her. The judge let her go. Asian woman, Asian judge. Now we're getting this shit. You see, this is not politics. This is morality. This is no longer Republican and Democrat. It's good and evil. It's good and evil. Okay. Chin says, saving the lion's share of my response for some unfortunate member of the media. None of this happens without the air cover they provide. The media. mainstream media, internet media, newspapers, magazine media, local radio, everything. They're completely covering. They're not upset. They're not even talking about all of this shit going on. They just gloss over it. These minorities from other countries, these illegals, they fucking murder, they rape, they kill, they kidnap. Media just silent. All they say is ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, are Nazis. And now they're taking children as young as kindergarten, giving them signs and taking them out of the class onto the street. And now at least one child has been killed by protesting out in the streets. They're throwing rocks. They're damaging property. The fight is coming. And they're using children. Once again, they're destroying and harming innocents. They're taking that from us. But like the Muslims who invaded Europe, what did they do? They went into a city, and if they defeated it, they would take all the children back. And they would brainwash them, propagandize them, indoctrinate them, and make them the most radical Muslims, and then send them right back to the front line of the next city and use Christian converted children into that religion of hatred and stupidity and use them as violence. That's exactly what they've done here. And the media is silent. Shh. They have conquered portions of our country. And as they conquer it, they take the children, they indoctrinate them into these bizarre fucking belief systems using fucking transgenders and communists and homosexuals. Anti-American propaganda to try and make kids hate themselves, hate their own race, hate their own country, hate the very existence that they live in. And they become spun, hypnotized automatons for evil. And look at the people who call themselves Israelis. What have they bragged about? Buying our politicians, controlling our politicians, influencing our politicians. Sneaking in to our institutions of education, bureaucracy, law. Oh yeah, take a look at the names on the lawyer boards. Go ahead and go to a phone book. Now, you can't do phone books anymore. Go look up all the names of the lawyers. Rosen, Cohen, and Steen. Right? They're institutions. They buy politicians in state and then federal level. They buy politicians on the lowest level. And then they use that power and they turn it against us. Very sneaky shit. And the media, who should be sounding the alarms, says not a fucking word. Nope. All right, we got Badass Diving Frog. He says, John, I saw where 1,000 British soldiers were teamed up with the Israeli Defense Force to go back into Gaza. There's not much left to go back into. England is completely owned and controlled by Israel. Queer Starmer himself has said, I've got Jewish family in Israel. All right, queer, you cocaine snorting freak. You fucking sellout who have allowed 250, just saying the number and thinking about that many little girls, 250,000 little girls raped in England. And the government will not open an investigation into how it's even happened, much less who the fuck is responsible and what can they do to fix it. They'll just pretend it's not even fucking happening. England, Spain, Germany, France, Italy. Meloni, the little blonde prime minister of Italy, she is like a set of fucking windshield wipers. Good for Italy. Well, fuck it. Let's let more in. Good for Italy. Let's get them out. Let's let them back in. We need more refugees. We don't need refugees. What the hell is going on? They will not stop. This is our country. It's our laws. It's our culture. They're destroying it all. They're destroying it all. It's so frustrating. It is so maddening to see. And all we're going to get is strongly worded letters. Don't worry. Don't worry. The Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, says it's working with the FBI and pointing out anyone who's anti-Semitic. They're making lists of us, folks. Lists based on your opposition to Israeli secular state government policy. I'm not an anti-Semite. I think Semites are just fine. But when they use religious practices to destroy my country, my culture, my laws, my traditions, and invite in the enemy, and then attack me and you and everyone that's good and decent, everyone I've got love for, then I have a problem. I'm not going to do anything violent, radical, hysterical. There's no need to. I don't have to do any of that. Because I know that it's just going to happen on its own. I have not encouraged anyone to get violent. I've just said, this is how it's going to happen. Be prepared when it does happen. There's going to be people that wanted to be left alone. And they're going to lose their shit. Right? Just like these parents that have had their children molested, raped, kidnapped. And they go in and they take care of the problem. There are going to be people out there. There's men out there right now going, I love my daughters. I love my children. I'm not going to let them get exposed to this shit. I need to do some very bad things to protect them. And they're starting to say the words. They're saying them publicly and aloud. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you that's what's going to happen. That's when you'll know. For years I've said, you'll know when it's time. Big question is, will it stop? Or if somebody does something, they're going to scream, right-wing, radical, Nazi, white supremacist, murderous, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's too late at that point. If you've pushed good, decent, tax-paying, hardworking, moral people to become violent in self-defense, it's not going to fucking stop. And that's the scary part of all this. It truly is scary, folks. It frightens me because I don't want good people hurt. I don't want innocents taken. But who has done this? Who has taken the innocents? Who? All right, let's see what we got going on at the end of the show here. Unbelievable. What has happened? Let's just go through the news a little bit. See what the fuck has happened. Eight backcountry Lake Tahoe skiers killed in the deadliest U.S. avalanche in 45 years. There's some... That really strikes at the heart of what's going on. Thank you, mainstream media. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Oh, Carolyn Levitt, the little blonde lady who likes to wear a cross except when she's lying, was upset because a CBS reporter suggested Trump has never falsely been called racist. And Carolyn Levitt says, "You're kidding, right? That's news. Trump's been called a racist forever. I don't give a shit if he's a racist. I give a shit if he's giving cover to people who are kidnapping, raping, killing, and eating children." Unbelievable. The mainstream media. RFK Jr. and Kid Rock set the internet on fire with a shirtless workout video. Who gives a fuck? This is the media failing, right? Now, here's an actual story. An outraged Florida father pulls his child from school because the children have been used as anti-ICE student protest tools. And he says, you have like 1,000 kids on the freeway overpass. Okay. He's pissed. That's what we get. They want us to be thrilled that Greg Gutfeld wants to make fun of AOC for looking like an idiot. This is the news, folks. And then also the right-wing news. Let me go to a right-wing page. I got a good one on a right-wing page. Here we are. Antifa murder in Europe. You know, the nice young Frenchman who was attacked by somewhere between 30 and 50 Antifa, and they killed him. They literally beat him to death like a bunch of fucking Muslim scum. They're blaming that on Biden's failure. Biden hasn't been president in over a year, and we're going to blame an Antifa murder on a conservative or a right-wing person in France on Biden. That's the right-wing news. They're really holding these people accountable as if we could do anything about Biden if we wanted. Is Biden even alive anymore? Just unbelievable, folks. Are you prepared? And of course, they want all of the left-wing radical BLM, Antifa, LGB pedophiles. They want them to be inspired by giving them a story like this. Civil disobedience movement in Burma created their revolution. Oh, so if you're civilly disobedient, you can take over the government and create your communist utopia. They're encouraging it. They're letting them know it works. Even Rosie O'Donnell has slipped back into the United States. I guess she feels safe again now that the Epstein people aren't getting arrested. Oh, yeah. And one last item, folks, before I'm so disgusted and go away. You know Eric Swallowswell, right? Yeah. He was anti-cop, super left-wing radical in college. He did, right? He's a piece of shit. Children are raised, they're indoctrinated, they go to college, they get it polished off, they become lawyers, and if you're the right kind of commie, you get promoted, you get put in positions of power and authority and wealth. You can become a congressman or a senator. You can enrich yourself through insider trading. All you got to do is destroy America. Folks, I'm sorry to say, but shit has hit the fan, and it's getting worse by the day. Write, call, text, carrier pigeon, get the message to your congressmen, your senators, everybody in authority, your governor, your state assembly, your state senators, the president of the United States, everybody participate in social media with thumbs up, stars, likes, smiley faces, hearts, whatever it takes to add to those numbers so that the people that it's going to, the people that need to see it, they see that it's tens of thousands of Americans that are pissed off. The media doesn't work on us, right? I think we've all woken up to that. Help continue to wake people up. They're hiding it. Right now, out there, everywhere out there, folks, people are so pissed off. They're pulling their kids out of school. They're homeschooling. They're protecting their kids. They're demanding that the government do something, and the government's doing nothing. We are heading for a firestorm of Mad Max. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Don't leave home unless you're armed, capable, and willing of protecting yourself with chemicals, tasers, or make sure it's lawful, your Second Amendment right to a gun. God bless you. Semper Fi. God bless America.